You make an income, you go expenses, 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 and then whatever's left is your profit. Well, that approach doesn't really help if you have a goal of how much you want to make and how much you want to save and how much you want to profit. It is very likely that you grew up in a similar circumstance like I did. I grew up around lack of abundance, where there were constantly a narrative around how money is limited, how it's available only to a few people, sometimes even that anybody that has money must have done evil deeds. All of these conversations started to build a money story in my mind, and it tends to be what a society experiences today. A lot of our stories that we think about money and how we behave around money, what we believe about money, comes from borrowed ideas of people that were around us when we were growing up. What I learned over time is a lot of these stories, a lot of these beliefs, a lot of these ideas around money or understanding of money was flawed. It was based on their perspective of life and often of their experiences of life without truly understanding how money works. You see, when I was about to become a father for the first time a few years ago, I had to ask myself a different question. Until that time, as a coach, I was making good money, but I was also spending it all. I was spending it on the experiences I was having in life. I was spending it on different investments I wanted to make in the company. I was just spending all the money without really thinking about long-term consequences that it can lead to, because, well, it was only me and my wife and our priorities were different. And then we decided we want to be parents. And because of that, I had to inquire within and find out, what is it that I truly believe about money, and how is it that I want to operate going forward? Also thinking about their future, my own financial stability, and so on and so forth. Which led me to a goal, and the goal was I want to save $50,000 at least every year. At that point, $50,000 was my benchmark, and it was a lot. And it wasn't that immediately I got there, but eventually I got there. And to get there, one of the best models that I found, which had a very practical approach, is from a book called Profit First. The Profit First philosophy is that before you invest in your business, before you send all the money that you make out to expenses, discover how much profit you want to make and already deduct it before you decide what expenses you want to make in your business or what things you want to buy and so on and so forth. It sounds really simple, and it is. And it really leans on the idea of saying if you pay yourself first, if you profit first, you will live in a lot more abundance. And this idea was really powerful for me to not only design my business finances, but my personal finances, because I started to inquire, what is it that I want to save? What is it that I want to invest? And based on that, I would decide how much I can spend or what I should spend on. Now, this does not mean you discount experiences that you want to have in life, but it gives you a good measure of what you could be saving by not making unnecessary expenses, expenses that you are blind to because they are just happening all around you without you having real recognition for it. Let me explore a little bit more how Profit First works and how it could work for you. You see, we all have a certain amount of income that we make in our business. And then usually what we tend to do is we just see the money in a bank account and we say, what else can I invest in? And what else can I spend in? And who else can I hire? And because of that, our profits usually are unknown until the end of the year. You make an income, you go expenses, 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 and then whatever's left is your profit. Well, that approach doesn't really help if you have a goal of how much you want to make and how much you want to save and how much you want to profit. The approach of Profit First says, this is going to be your income this year. What's going to be the profit that you're going to save? And now let's look at what I can spend the money on. Now, there might be some fixed expenses that, of course, I included, and so that will change the equation a little bit. But generally, in principle, what you're thinking about is how much I want to make, what do I want to profit from it, what am I left with, and how can I use what I'm left with to actually make what I want to make. Once you take that approach, it makes it easier for you to take away the profit that you will want to take by the end of the year. Now, there are certain things that will be revealed to you as you're using the Profit First approach. For example, when you have the Profit First approach, you might go, well, I want to make this much money as profit, but my income and my expenses have no way to really give that money to me. Which means, let's say your revenue is 100, what you want to take is 50, but your fixed expenses, the minimum that you have to spend is say 60 or 70 even. If that's the case, your profit will never turn out to be 50. So what do we do? In that scenario, you need to start questioning either your expenses and ask yourself, are those expenses absolutely necessary? It's a great house cleaning exercise, by the way, because suddenly you recognize a lot of the tools that you're spending for, you don't really need them anymore. Or a lot of the services that you have hired are not really yielding the return that they promised they would. And it makes it really easy for you to calibrate your personal finances and your business finances. Now, sometimes you will look at your expense sheet and you'll be like, nothing is really negotiable. Everything is good. We have most optimized expenses. That's awesome. Then we look at how is it that we can increase the overall income of the company so we can still profit as much as we wanted to. This would mean that we have to keep the expenses same, but increase the income of the overall company. And to be able to find how to increase the income of your company, you have to ask a few fundamental questions. For example, you would ask yourself, how much more money do I need to generate? How many more clients will I need to generate that much money? How much more can I charge per client to be able to generate that money? And lastly, how many people do I need to engage in a conversation with, or an enrollment conversation with, so I can generate those many clients at that price point? All of these fundamental questions will further clarify your business plan, your marketing plan, that will allow you to find out what is it that you need to make as revenue with yourself and your company, and so be able to profit as much as you want with your company. Now, this is a really practical approach, and you may think it's overly simplistic, because it is a very simple approach and it's powerful and you can really implement it immediately and see some results. But you won't be able to implement what you learned in Profit First if you have limiting beliefs in your mind. So I want to offer you 9 powerful questions that you can watch that will help you unlock your money blocks and create the abundance that you want to create in your lives. So go ahead and watch this video. I'll see you there.